another 50 years. Homespun eclectic programming, which mirror our community, is what you're supporting when you call 713-526-5738 option 1 or go to kpft.org. Also, consider becoming a sustaining member. Whatever you can do each month, $5, $10, $100. The more sustainers, the fewer the fund drives, and we can all live with that. 713-526-5738, JAM KPFT option 1. KPFT, Houston's community station, your station. Peace.
You are listening to KPFT Houston.
Support for KPFT and the Prison Show is provided by the Cohen Parole Law Firm. For almost 40 years, Gary Cohen has helped represent incarcerated individuals throughout Texas obtain parole and fight parole revocations. We protect those who have fallen short of perfection from the wrath of those who believe they have attained it. For more information about Gary Cohen and his associates, Alan Bennett and Gene Anthis, you can find it at the website, parolelaw.com. You may also contact them at 512-476-6201.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas, and good morning to all those nooks and crannies receiving our 100,000 watt transmitting signal in Northeast Texas, Southeast Texas, Northeast Louisiana, Southeast Louisiana. Good morning to the rest of the world listening to us over the internet. And yes, folks, we get people from all over the world. Barcelona, Spain. Auckland, New Zealand. Man, sometimes some people get in here that makes you wonder. But folks, we are going to have a great show for you today. But guess what? Before we get started, of course, there's one important part of the show that we have to get to, which is going to the geniuses in the control room that makes it possible for all this stuff to happen. Buenos dias, mis amigos. Good morning, my brothers and sisters. How you guys doing?
Good morning, Egberto. Just another fine day here at the radio, and I thought you might be throwing it to Sandy Wyman, who is here this morning. Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning, Howard. Good morning, Egberto. Good morning, Jack. Hey, folks.
Good morning.
It's Tuesday morning, and we're hoping to raise some funds. First thing. Hey, but first, grab some coffee. Wake up. You know, it is Tuesday morning. You're probably wondering what socks you're going to wear today. That's always a big decision, Egberto. You know, you got to pick out the right one.
I know, but
if you pick out the wrong ones, the people will be talking.
Yes, they will.
So pick out the right ones and then call 713-526-5738 and donate to this program and to KPFT. I just posted the old thermometer there, Egberto, on our Facebook page to remind people that we are in fund drive. Collectively, after just 5 days, we've collected $45,346, including a bunch of sustaining pledges at the start of the drive. We'd like to keep the momentum going today. It's real important that we do this. And hey, well, it's a fine day to donate.
It's always a great day to donate to the station, folks. Remember, hey, we got $110,000 or so more to go. So every single penny count. And look, for those of you who are thinking, oh, there they go again with the station asking for money. Remember, we're still giving you a full show. But, you know, we want you to go ahead and make sure that we can keep giving you shows on and on again. But you know how we also like to start the what we call the real part of the program, and that is by listening to the opening comments by the one and only Jack Van Beber. Hey, Jack, what's up?
There we go.
Good morning, Egberto.
Buenos dias.
All right. This is kind of playing off your newsletter this morning. Excuse me. We must find a way to stop the corporate oligarchs from taking us to war for profit. Corporate greed has escaped from its regulation and is free to plunder the planet. And boy, are they doing a good job of plundering. What is it that drives these men to choose profit over people's lives?
Money. Got that answer.
Money, yes.
Power.
Always. Wait, where did I just hear a bell?
Nah, you heard you heard my phone.
Oh, but you know what? Ironically, it played at just the right time. As it's like Van Bever's done, and bang, bang. Hey, man, maybe we need to get some more skills from Rico because he likes to do all those antics with his synthesizer and that kind of stuff. But anyway, folks, we're going to have a great show for you today. And, today it's going to be sort of a meandering rant that we have, knowledgeable, of course. That's we have faith in everybody. But at the same time, I want to tie it into support of the station. So,
You're clear,
look,
Sandy.
let me just say this, folks. The topics that we have scheduled for today are as follows. It says the title of the show is Dana Bash exposed JD Vance for defending Trump on the issue of anti-Semitism. The one thing we all abhor, the one thing we hate is anti-Semitism, but we should never let uh, the false trope get on make us not do what's right, what is moral, etc., etc., etc. And that is what JD Vance is attempting to do, along with a whole lot of our brethren on the Republican side of the aisle, and to some extent, some of our neoliberal politicians who have decided that they know best for all of us, forgetting about uh, human values. But we'll go there next. But the main topic that I want to tie into the show and tie into also given is families' needs over corporate greed. And I have a little story. And before I get into the story, I want to tell folks right now for the morning has started since midnight. I'm looking at the board right now, Sandy, and we have zero support thus far for today, May 14th. So, what I want to ask those of you that are listening right now is to please consider supporting us right now at calling 713-526-5738 extension number 1. What I want to ask of you, and this a distinct ask. Please consider, first of all, we accept any donation that you give, whether it's a one time or otherwise. But what we're trying to do is to build a base that we can reduce having these fund drives so that we can give you the program that you really want. So those of you listening now, don't go. I'm just doing a pitch and I'm coming with the program in a second, but don't leave. Many of you, you hear the fund drive and you jump to NPR, you jump somewhere else. Don't do that. We're going to have a program. But I want to ask you so kindly, call 713-526-5738 extension 1. $5 a month. $5 a month that's drafted out of your credit card every month. That's all we ask. $5 a month. For those of you who have the wherewithal, $10 a month. $15 a month. If you want a brick that would have an insignia inscription that you want, $25 a month for a 4x4 brick, $50 a month for an 8x8 brick. That's a thank you that we give you. Likewise, hey, you want to go and have some coffee with me and beat me up in the flesh, say, hey, I don't like what you're talking about, or I love what you're talking about, or I want you to add this kind of discussion when you are talking on the program. Or, even maybe sometimes we sit in and do a little, I'll come with my cameras and so on. Maybe we could do a little tape together if that's what you want. That is what I believe in community and community radio. We have that, and we thank you for something like that, $250 a month. We go ahead and we sit down and have a chat, have coffee. Several people have taken advantage of that in the last fund drive and a previous fund drive. We've had fun. We've said we're going to spend, it always turns out to be really good and exciting. So that's a $250 contribution, and we give you that as a thank you gift. But again, the T-shirt, $120 for a Politics Done Right T-shirt. You can do this by calling 281. All right, I'm sorry, 713 526-5738, extension number 1, or you can go ahead and go to kpft.org and remember to select Politics Done Right as the program you're supporting, and any one of those gifts. And later on, Sandy's going to have a whole plethora of stuff that we also have to offer. But we need to get started, and I ask you so kindly to start that by giving us a call at 713-526-5738, extension 1, or go to kpft.org, give a contribution now, and I want to call your name out if you allow me to on air so that people can understand that we have great givers. All right, that said, family needs over corporate greed. Several years ago, and I think some of you who listen to the show regularly would have heard part of this story. But we constantly get new callers, new listeners, and this is the story that I want to point out. This group was trying to get people together from different ideological from perspectives, and I was the one representing what people would call the far left. We had a stand. We had me representing the far left progressives. You had a Democrat. You also had a person sitting in the middle. Uh, they claimed to sit in the middle. Then you had that center right person, and then you had the right winger. And we started talking about what people needed, and the kinds of programs that I came up with were things like, yes, we have to have Medicare for all. Everybody should be able to simply go to a doctor with a card. There should be no money exchanges, any of that. Your health and your well-being shouldn't be dependent on you being able to have some cash to go to a doctor, because two things that does, right? It means that it holds you back from going to see a doctor when a lot of times if you went to a doctor a bit earlier, things would be better. And likewise, your health shouldn't depend on whether you're rich or poor, work for minimum wage or otherwise. That's one of the things that I said. I also said that we needed to have childcare. Childcare meaning that everybody, our society always talks about loving family values and wanting to have people work, if you want to be a productive citizen. But there are many people who want to work, but we also want people to have kids. And if they can't afford to put their kids in daycare or put their kids somewhere secure while they're working, and they don't have a place where they don't have to worry about their kids while they're working, one, efficiency goes down because they're worried about the kids, or two, they don't go to work at all because they don't have any support for their kids. So that is one thing. The other thing is having everybody housed, right? In other words, if you go around our country, there are empty homes all over the place. There is some problem with having a match between people and homes. So you go to a place like Sacramento or uh, uh, Houston, downtown Houston. You go to a place like San Francisco, LA, New York City, and we have all these people that are living on the streets in a country that is very, very rich. And we are a very rich country. So we need to have all these. So I laid out what most would call the progressive agenda. And the Democrat agreed with me, but said, well, though, but we have to make sure that they sounded pretty much like any standard neoliberal Democrat sounded today. The person in the middle as well. Now, the person on the right, the first thing he said, Egberto, all that sounds great, but how does that affect business? And when he said that, I kind of paused for a while, and I said, aren't you a Republican that believes in family values and the support for the family and all these other issues? Yes, yes, yes. But when you speak about these issues, when you speak about these policies, you have to ask how it affects business, because business is what makes this country run. And I said, no, families is what makes this country run. If you have good families, business would follow. In other words, we don't create families for business. We create we create business based on our sustained social model. Social model being, how do we want to exist as a society, right? During the days of the robber barons back in the 1920s, etc., all the concentration of monies went to the top, and it kept on progressively getting that way to the point that eventually all crash. And it's not by accident. These things are just based on numbers, right? And eventually you don't have the bottom being able to support the top, which is where we have headed again, and where we continue to head in our policies. So this occurs because of how we elect, or who we have elected, and where these people's loyalties eventually lie. It's not an affordability issue, it's an issue about priority. So when I read this article that says families needs over corporate greed, that just opened up that panel that I sat on again, where here we constantly have this fight of yearning for our politicians to pass policies that look at families first and make sure that our business model fits around families, from the amount of time that we have to work per hour, to the amount of leaves that we get, to the support we have for children, to the medical policies that we pass to make sure that everybody have health care. Now I'm going to pause here. I'm going to do a quick pitch, and then I'm going to go ahead and get to our first caller. But before the pitch, I'm going to throw it to El Senor Manager, Sandy, in this control room. So, Sandy, let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll get back to regular programming.
Thank you,
Eh,
Egberto.
yes, sir.
I have to got to push all the buttons to get on the air. Technology, technology, technology. It rules. It rules this studio. Hey, folks, it's early in the morning, at least from my perspective. Just finishing that first cup of coffee. If you like to finish that first cup of coffee and then maybe grab a second on your way out the door, you're going to need something to put that in. And you can support KPFT and have something to put your coffee in all at once, because we have a brand new 32-ounce stainless steel tumbler. It's an insulated cup for you, Yeti-like, if you will, internal straw for those cold drinks. And we have that available for a $120 pledge. So if you're just drinking your first cup of coffee, like I am, and you're thinking about that second cup, but you got to get out the door, well, here's a solution for you. Make a $120 pledge to KPFT. That's $10 a month. You can do it that way. No worries. $10 a month, and we'll send you this brand new 32-ounce stainless steel tumbler, and you can be happy with coffee in your cup and a KPFT logo on this stainless steel cup that will gleam in your cup holder. 713-526-5738. And if you add $20, that's $11.67 for a $140 pledge. We'll send you the KPFT tumbler and the Caroline Street coffee, which is a 1-pound bag of Lola Savannah beans blended for KPFT in a bag that's marked KPFT Caroline Street blended coffee. All of that is really pretty cool, especially the bag. It's just a nice piece of art for those of you that have been listening to this station for a long, long time. Here's something to put on the shelf in your pantry with the beans in it too. I think it's just fantastic. You don't drink coffee, you don't already have 28 mugs in your pantry and 29 won't fit. Well, get a t-shirt, in fact, get 2 t-shirts. Get one with our Love It Street Studio commemorated on a beautiful line drawing by Lars Hendrington, former programmer at KPFT, and another shirt with the Caroline Street Studio emblazoned on it, as seen through the eyes of Jill Morgenstern, who is, she's not programming with us anymore because she's battling through some health problems, and we wish her well with those. But you can pick both of those shirts up. 2 clean t-shirts, they're $100 each, but both together, $180 pledge. Our phone number, 713-526-5738. You hit option 1. You'll be connected to the donation center. It takes about 2 minutes to work it all out. If you don't want to do that, go to kpft.org and punch that donate button and follow the bouncing ball and do it that way. Right now, we're waiting for the first person to donate on this Tuesday morning. We have a goal for the program of $300. And right now, we need $300 to make our goal. But you can help us along with that. Be the first to donate today and show that KPFT deserves in your mind to continue. We're 54 plus years old, and we'd sure like another 54 or more. None of that works for you. Go to the website, donate $54 for 54 years of community volunteer-powered broadcasting over Houston, Texas. More essential than ever that this independent voice be there to get your news, your views on the air, and make sure that we have something other than corporate radio in Houston, Texas. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org, Egberto.
Absolutely, folks. Don't forget this. Look, many of you have cable bills, and cable bill is a unidirectional thing, right? One way. They give, you take, period. They give the program in, you take whatever they give you. No questions asked. You just have to take it. And many of you pay $100, $200, $300 for all those services. Here you have a station, an eclectic station with news, with opinion, with all types of music, stuff you can request. A station where you are a part of. Many of you call in and form this program and many others. You have a voice, you get a platform, you can say the things on air for hundreds of thousands of people to hear. When you're listening to NPR, when you're listening to ABC, CBS, NBC, or these other stations, again, you just take it. But a lot of times you hear somebody saying something and you want to scream to the top of your lungs because you want other people to hear a perspective, another perspective, and you just can't. You just can't. Here at KPFT, your station, you can do that. Here, Politics Done Right is your platform. You Talk is your platform. Many other programs that we have, both weekly programs or daily programs, you can call in. You have a voice because it's yours. You're invested into this station. We're asking you, same type of investment that you make for corporate America, the people that we complain about all of the times. And I'm not just talking about Jack and Howard and myself and Sandy complaining about a lot of what happens because, at some point in time, all of us have worked for corporate America. And yes, it is a part of our system. But, we always want to make things better. But, some of us, we complain, but we, they don't have a problem getting our cable bills every month. They don't have a problem getting our monies. Many of us spend t- dozens of dollars, hundreds of dollars at Starbucks every day, at some corporate entity every day, where you don't have a voice really, but you have a voice here. So rationalizing it doesn't it make a whole lot of sense to support a station like ours where you legitimately have a voice. 713 526 5738 extension 1. Uh, be sure to say it's for politics and right, and likewise go to kpft.org and take advantage of one of our options. Is $5 a month, $10 a month, 15 a month, 25 a month too much to ask when uh, a cable bill can be so expensive and we do it? Sin preguntas, without question. So I ask again kindly, please be the first one to call in now or go to kpft.org now so that I can thank you. 713 526 5738. We have our first caller, our regular Harry. Harry, let's kind of shorten her up today, my dear, wonderful brother, so that we can continue to try to keep this thing on the road, my brother. Talk to me, my dear friend.
Buenos and buenos dias to you, hermano, el profesor, Alberto Willis. Good morning to Jack, Howard, and Sandy. And it does make, as you were just saying there, it makes a hell of a lot of sense to contribute to KPFT for shows like Politics Done Right and the show that comes on 2 hours after this, You Talk, and other programs, because you learn things and that you might not get from other sources. And when you talk about these things, you get everything out, and it makes you think. That's why you want to contribute to keep KPFT going. But what I called about is what I listened to on the Daily yesterday, and they talked about it again this morning a little while before your show came on. You remember there was this journalist on NPR, and he was talking about Donald Trump's plan for China and the tariffs, and he was talking about Joe Biden's plan and the tariffs. And what he said was, with what Joe Biden wants to do is he wants to grandfather out the old economy that we are on with the oil and the coal, and he wants to keep expanding on the Chinese tariffs so that the solar technology that China is producing with the solar cells and their batteries and with the electric vehicles, he wants tariffs on all that so that the United States and Europe, who are behind, can eventually catch up. Now, Trump, if he gets in there, he wants to do 60% tariffs on those goods, but he doesn't want to invest in America to catch up with those goods for electrical vehicles and solar technology. He just wants to stay on the old fossil fuel economy that's causing climate change. And we've heard Trump say many a times, we're just going to drill, and we're not going to waste time with green technology and cleaner, renewable technology. Tom Hartman has mentioned these things on his program, and others have too. And so, we know what the better plan is. The better plan is Joe Biden's plan. That's why Joe Biden expanded on those tariffs so that Chinese goods, electrical vehicles, and solar technology could not undermine us by selling it at a cheaper rate. And then the bad thing about these tariffs is they were mentioning it again earlier this morning, is it gets passed on to the American consumer, and then the wealthy don't pay any tax on that. And that tax revenue, when Trump was president, it goes to the wealthy. So
Thank you.
we know where Trump's heading.
Harry, you are making a very important point, extraordinarily important point, and I want to tag on to that. I want to disagree a bit with one thing for consistency's sake. So here's my answer to that. And folks, I'm so glad that Harry brought that up, because this is a very important thing. It's something that can bring employment, all this sort of thing. Harry brought up a very important subject. I take a slightly different stance. I remember when we talked about inflation, the corporate greed index or the corporate greed rate. I talked about that government policy was not responsible for inflation, the type of inflation that we've had over the last several years, where it ballooned up to about 9% or so. And I said that was not the cause of government policy. It was directly the cause of either Trump previous policies as well as policies from the corporations that simply went ahead and gouge Americans. And Katie Porter presented the data that showed that 4.5%, over 4.5% of that 9% was directly simply corporate greed. They raised prices because they could, not because their prices went up. And then I said, I'm not going to give corporate America a break. That other 4.5% came from their ineptitude. How? Remember, it created, in some areas, we had shortages because of supply chain issues, and we had supply chain issues because these corporate geniuses decided that they were going to have something called just in time inventory. It only gave them a one time write off to make a whole bunch of money. But what that meant is that instead of keeping a store full of stock of products for several months to take care of pandemics and hurricanes and all of that would disrupt product that we import coming in, they didn't do that. And so the products we created spot shortages. But worse, they decided that it was a little bit cheaper to make things overseas, so they stiffed the American worker and went overseas and did that. However, That was the private sector, the American corporations creating those policies, not government. The American corporation decided that they wanted to do. Now, here comes Biden. Biden bailed them out with the chips by creating big chip factories here in the United States to mitigate what's going on overseas and to start building stuff here in America again. Great point for Biden. But the part that I disagree with is I got to be consistent. If I pointed out that what Trump did by creating tariffs was inflationary, which it was, it made the products that we would have normally imported from China cheaper. So Americans,
Yeah.
now what we're saying is we're going to charge Americans a tariff. It's not when you say a tariff, it's not China you're putting that tariff on. It's Americans. What it means is that the solar panels are now more expensive than it would have been if we didn't have the tariff. And who pays that? Not the corporations importing the tariff, not the United States government, but we, the people, are going to pay that increased price on the tariff. And in that respect, that money goes into the government coffers, into taxes. It's a new tax that's placed on us. And does that tax go into child care? Does that tax go into health care? No, that tax goes right into the coffers when many a times we simply return it as tax cuts for wealthy people. If I'm consistent in saying that Donald Trump created inflation by putting tariffs on these products, I'm going to say the same thing when Biden does it. And when Biden talks about putting on a tariff to help the steel workers, there is another option that we had. And I discussed this on my newsletter and had some good conversation on that with a person who understands tariffs. An alternative would be for us, just like China decided to subsidize its solar panel sector, and now is the leader in not only electric cars, but the leader in all these other areas. Well, we can do the same. We don't have to penalize the American people. What we do is subsidize these industries that we want to take over because of climate change, etc. We could do the same. We could subsidize panels so that Americans start using panels in galore. We could say we are going to put these panels for free on well, it's not for free, it's your tax dollars on every house and become generators of electricity, etc. But the bottom line is this, folks. Americans are always the one held with the bill. You always pay. Whenever we want to solve our companies made the stupid choice not to invest heavily into solar panels or create or encourage our government to subsidize solar panels. China did it, they're ahead. The same happened with electric cars. China did it, they're ahead. Again, once again, they're asking us to bear the cost of solving a problem the corporate sector caused, and doing so by raising our prices. So, brother Harry, while I agree with everything that you said, the one part that I think we ought to be intellectual and honest about is raising tariffs is not the answer.
Yeah.
If the government want to do something, subsidize, which means it's
Right.
neutral for the American taxpayer. The American taxpayer still get the panels at the same price that China sells it at because it's now subsidized by we the people, our government. One quick closer before I go to Donald, Harry.
Okay, well, that goes back to what you were saying. It goes back to Jimmy Carter when he had those solar panels to set an
Yes.
example on the White House.
Yes.
And then when Reagan got in there, he took them off. And the American people are to blame for that because they elected Ronald Reagan. But
Thank you, my brother.
Joe Biden wants to invest in America with green technology. Donald Trump does not. And one more
Thank
thing,
you.
Howard, we're playing.
All right, come on in, Donald.
Morning. Remember to support KPFT. Okay, Berto, your song for the day is 16 tons. That gives you your answer for what you were talking about.
What is that, my friend?
16 tons?
Yes.
The song, that gives you your, that's what That's the answer for what you were talking about. But this is the problem. American people would love to have solar panels on their house, but the way the tax credit works is the corporation takes the taxes out of our checks or the working person, and therefore it doesn't. Everything always benefits the rich person that has money up front and then pays the taxes every quarter. For us to get solar panels, we can't get subsidized because they're taking it out of our check and we don't see it. So we don't pay taxes at the end. We pay it every week. So that's them taking the money. So that's the tax collector mentality. That's where we're at in the United States. We don't benefit from anything.
And henceforth, that's the reason why, every time I hear somebody, whether they're from the left or the right, a friend of mine told me, Egbert, it's a big circle. And guess what? The right is catching the left. What they means is on the other side, the right is catching the left. And what that means is we're all realizing that the policies that we want are pretty much darn the same. Take out the social stuff about abortion and all that crap that they keep us fighting against. And then because you're a righty, Donald, you're a MAGA right wing kind of a brother. And look at how you agree with me on so much. It's amazing, ain't it?
Oh, I know until we get the music we listen to.
Hey, we're not going to get into our disagreements now, Donald. Donald, we ain't getting into our disagreements, but what I'm trying. All right, here's. Look, let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something, okay? We are going to have to get all these folks together and sit down and come up with that progressive slate. Because, brother, you may not like to call yourself a progressive, but damn it, you're a progressive. I'm not going to let you answer that one. Anyway, anything else you got to say before?
All right. Nope, that's it. Have a good one.
Thank you, brother. You have a great day, brother.
You have a voice.
All right, thank you. All right, before I go to, I see Johnny's number up there, but before I go to Johnny, I want to do a quick pitch, jump to Sandy, and then continue with the show. Folks, I don't have any contributors to Politics Done Right yet. And do you want Sandy to kick me off the air, man? Look, we need support for very important programming. So I want to ask you again to give us a call at 713-526-5738. And as much as we're doing these fund drive, you see I'm answering calls. I'm making sure that we get the information out. I'm making sure that we also learn a few things about tariffs, etc. We learn a few things about families and the likes. Give us a call. And you also have your input. You hear everybody being able to call in here and say their piece. I ask kindly, give me a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Go ahead, $5 a month for a sustaining membership, $10 a month as well, $15 a month. We could use every possible type of contribution that you want to give, that you can give. You do it for the corporate sector. We ask you to do it for a sector that you own, KPFT 90.1 FM. I know that you can do that. 713-526-5738. How else do people, when you see that we can get together, Donald and myself and others on the left and the right get together and say what we're looking for are things better for us as a society as a whole. How many times do you hear that other than people fighting at each other's neck? We don't believe in that here. So, please support programs that are really doing something positive for us all. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org. Let me pass it on to Sandy.
Thank you, Egberto. 54 years plus ain't no joke, people. 54 years plus of listener support enables you to hear our voices today. We're asking you to join that unbroken chain and continue it on into the future. You just talked about sustaining pledges. If 3 of you would do a $5 a month pledge, that's $60, but it's going to get matched with $58. So when we do the math, that adds up to well over our goal this morning. That's how simple it is to make a goal. We're not asking for much. These expenses at the radio station have been pared back and pared back and pared back. I was on the original local station board. I think that was around 2003 or 4. I don't remember, but somewhere around there. And I became the treasurer because they couldn't find anybody else to do it. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into. At that point in time, the budget was like 1.6 something million dollars a year. $1.6 million. I think we had 15 or 16 or 17 paid employees at that point, many of them having health benefits, meaning that the overhead, the amount of money it took to keep KPFT going in that model was so much greater, so much greater. We're asking for $150,000 on this fund drive. A typical fund drive then would have been more like $300,000 or even more. We cannot afford to go without your contribution anymore, in that we've cut back all the expenses and have but one full-time paid employee, which we must have according to the FCC. So folks, please do make that step. So far, we have a blank slate in front of us this morning, which is not what we want to see. So please make that call. That makes a difference. Become a sustainer, get matched, $5 a month or $10 a month. You dial 713-526-5738, hit option 1, or go to kpft.org and click donate and follow the bouncing ball. We have lots of concert tickets, including one pair of reserved gallery and one pair of general admission tickets to go see Junior Brown at the Heights Theater. That's a good example for you of some of the tickets that we have. And Junior Brown's going to be there on Thursday, June 20th. The reserved seats are a $180 pledge. And this fund drive, we began to do something new. If you join as a sustainer, $15 a month, say, that equals $180 at the end of the year. You can go see that show now and pay it off, so to speak, over time. In fact, just keep giving KPFT $15 a month, and it goes a long, long way, because then we have that money to rely on. Fund drives shrink as a result of already having the funds without even asking, because you volunteered to say, hey, KPFT, here's $15. I'm going to go see Junior Brown, but I'm going to keep giving you that money. And it all adds up. We started this fund drive with over $20,000 in the bank, thanks to sustainers. It's a very powerful notion. So come on, join on, climb on board, $5 or $10 a month, and get off the schneid this morning and on our way to our goal. And then we'll pass the baton to Amy Goodman. But we need to see some funding first. 713-526-5738. We got about 18 minutes left in this show, and we've yet to hear from you. Why not? Come on. 713-526-5738. Storms have passed. It's supposed to be a nice day today, I do believe, and we want to hear from you while the sun is shining. Egberto?
Yes, yes, it's shining, folks. Look, let me tell you, I'm going to Johnny in a second, but uh, Sandy, you know that I hate doing fund drives. I'm all about doing the program, and this is one of the most difficult things for me to do. Saying,
It's
hey,
a strong
please,
word.
yeah, I mean, I am just not good at it, and it shows. But look, folks, let me just say this. Um, I think, let's see, if you are already a sustaining member, are we set up to increase, and does that get the added
Yes,
bonus? Yes, we are.
yes, yes, it does.
We
In
are, Bruce.
fact,
So you
in
can
fact,
always do that. Go ahead, Sandy.
I heard from one of our supporters on weekend programming yesterday. He called me up. We had a nice chat. He said, "Man, I was listening on the archive, and I heard pitching on the weekend. And man, can I get that premium?" And I said, "Of course." He said, "Well, increase my sustaining membership," and that's exactly what he did. And it was that easy. And he grabbed the additional premium, and that's that. And even better, Egberto.
Hmm.
Even better, you'll get
Yes.
full credit for the full amount, the base plus the extension on your show
Wow.
today.
There
So
you go.
if one of you
There.
out there already has like a $15 a month membership, increase it to 20. You can't tell me that for most of you, $5 is going to make a big difference in your monthly household budget, one way or the other over the course of a month. It makes a huge difference at KPFT. It keeps us on the air. That little bit from a lot of people, does it? I was just looking, they just published the Nielsen radio ratings for the month. They usually do it about the middle of the month for the previous month. And I was really pleased to see that the cumulative listenership has picked up this month, and our share of the listening market remains at a relatively high level for KPFT, although small compared to many other stations. More of you are listening now. If you have never made a donation to KPFT, you just started listening, consider that you're hearing us again, 54 plus years, people donating money around Houston to keep the station here. If you're passionate about free speech, you're passionate about independent media, you're passionate, you mentioned cable, and you just take what they give you and you have no choices. Yeah, what else did they give you? A pile of commercial advertising each and every hour, a pile of it, to the point where you just, you change the channel because you just can't take it no more. I understand. I do the same thing. But here at KPFT, that's one thing that we don't give you, commercial advertising. Now, we do accept underwriting, and you will hear the occasional underwriting announcement like before this show, the Gary Cohen Law Firm. They're a big supporter of the prison program. They're advocates for better condition for prisoners, and they're underwriting this station. We accept that. You can go to kpft.org and click on the menu and become a station sponsor. And again, there's a link to the whole underwriting package with the terms and conditions, everything laid out right in front of you, so you know what you're getting into. And then Robin Lewis will help you to complete that contract, and we'll get your underwriting announcement on the air, and you will have supported KPFT with those dollars. But right now, for listeners, $5 a month. Come on, break the ice here. It's now 14 minutes to the top of the hour, and we've yet to see a single pledge on this Tuesday morning. If there's something wrong in the way we're approaching this, gm@kpft.org is my email, and I'd love to hear from you as to what we need to do to get you to donate. 713-526-5738 or kpft.org. Egberto.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sandy. So again, folks, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. And I want to thank you in advance. I want to be able to call you out this morning. You can still make that call or go to kpft.org. I want to thank you. Don't forget to put it in the name of Politics Done Right. Let's go to Johnny. Brother Johnny, the mayor of Politics Done Right. Good morning, my brother. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, my brother from another mother. Hey, let
Yes,
me
sir.
ask you. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I heard myself on. Let me shut this other radio off. Sorry about that. Okay, so what do the disconnecting the solar panels of the White House when Ronald Reagan came in, that's one of the first things he did next to firing the PATCO workers. Remember the...
I sure remember the airline. Yeah.
Striking?
Yes.
That's what they do. What do the solar panel disconnection on the White House, making solar panel purchases by homeowners in Florida illegal, and canceling voter registrations in Georgia have in common? What's the one thing those three things have in common? What's the one common thing between those three?
For time's sake, I'm going to let you answer it.
Okay. It's Republicans. You will never see our side involved in no. We're not the party of no. We're the party of solving problems. Unfortunately, our party, the Democratic Party, is run by centrist Democrats who are corrupted by the same oligarchic money as Republicans. So in order to fix that, part of the solution is supporting independent media like KPFT, The Nation magazine, Link TV, Free Speech TV. Everything that you see that makes sense to you, you're not going to get it from the legacy media. You can't rely on them. If Donald Trump, God forbid, Donald Trump gets another term in the White House, it's going to get really, really ugly. And you're not going to know who to believe anymore. So please support the media.
Absolutely.
And don't let it go away. God help us. Hope you stay safe.
Thank you, my brother. And let me, Johnny, thank you for those wise words. Let me just say something because there are people talking out of two sides of their mouth. Okay, there is a new resurgence of support for Donald Trump via the corporate sector because they do fear they do fear a second uh, election of Biden, and the reason why is in Biden's first term, he showed a proclivity to support progressive policies. Again, Biden is a neoliberal, no doubt. Biden is a neoliberal, but he got the progressives got into his ears. And I think some of his working class bona fides came to pass, and he did it. And the corporate sector fears that when he has only his legacy to leave, that the legacy that he leaves is that of supporting real working class America. That's the fear. So you see, even neoliberal democratic stock supporters, all these guys are saying, hey, well, Trump ain't all that bad. You heard, I can't remember the name of the guy who run Morgan Stanley and some of these other big firms. They're like, wow, that may be good for the corporate sector, not good for the American people, but good for the corporate sector. So, what do you think that does to the type of programming you get on TV? I had a particular reporter that we all know from MSNBC told me directly he has to cater the way he speaks, but he knows how to do it, but he has to cater the way he speaks. Think about that. Anyway, Brian, come on in, my brother. Come on in.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning, sir?
Fine. It's very, very foggy up on this side of town. So
Uh-oh.
I can't, yeah, I can't believe you haven't had any supporters call in and pledge some donations yet.
They don't like me.
Well, I don't know if it's just the fund drive itself, where it's taking your time away or whatever. But here's a point someone just made. You can be in the union and work for the United States government, but you can't go on strike. Okay? That's why they were fired. They went on strike, not because he just went in and said, no, I don't like you people anymore. You're fired. That's incorrect. You can't be in the union and go on strike for the government. Plus, they were air traffic controllers. What happens to the economy and the safety of the people that's in the air? Okay? And Trump just had a rally in New Jersey. 80,000 people showed up. So Biden can't get 15 to show up. And if they are, it's scripted. It's completely scripted. He can't walk. He can't talk. He's not going to do the debate. His handlers are going to say, no, scheduling problems, scheduling conflicts, all this other stuff. So that's about it for today.
All right. Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you for those words. I disagree, but again, this platform belongs to everybody. My thought is this: I wish Biden will debate him. I think it would be quite an interesting debate. Two old men debating. Hey, that'll be cool. Nothing to my old men callers. I love you all. But I mean, I think it would be great listening into the debate. When it comes to doing a crowd, I tell you what, if we judge by crowds, I don't think I think it would be President Hillary, because that Philadelphia crowd that she had at the end was huge. And she still, well, even though she won the election, the popular vote, she didn't win the electoral college. So I don't know how much the correlation between the amount of people showing up and actually winning means anymore, or ever meant, to tell you the truth. So I don't know that. So, but Brian, I know where your heart is, Brian, and I wish you could see through my eyes, but I'm just glad to have you as a listener and a contributor to the program, that we can actually at some point come to some sort of a good place. Anyway, folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. And folks, Brian is a good guy. He's even a contributor to this program. and he disagrees vehemently with me. That is the kind of dialogue I want in America, where we all realize we're Americans working together. And he wants what's good for his family. I want what's good for my family. We all want what's good for everybody's family. We just have to get on the same page and realizing what that is. 713-526-5738. Folks, I can't believe this, but I have zero contributors at this point in time. I don't think that has ever happened before. Let me know why. But again, $5 a month, $10 a month, a $100, $20 t-shirt. You don't have to pay it all at once. You can go to kpft.org, or you can go to call 713-526-5738, extension number 1. As you can see, I'm kind of fumbling my words, and you know why? Because I just can't believe that we don't have the support. Let me throw it back to the studio, to Sandy.
Oh, don't make me do this. Don't make me do this. I've got the Worm song queued up, and you don't want to hear it. Folks, you gotta donate to Egberto. Otherwise, the Worm song will have to be played.
Oh, no.
It's not something we want to do. Sandy, what do you think? The Worm song?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
My fingers is right on the button.
It. Nope. Nope.
Oh.
That's the nuclear option.
I know, and I don't want to do it. I mean,
no Worm songs on Tuesdays. I think I read that in the handbook.
Yeah, I think you're right. But it's coming down to the brass tacks here. There's nothing on the board. We have been pitching for over an hour. We've provided a really good show. Folks are calling in, and there's nothing on the board.
We're going to extend it. We're going to extend the program a few minutes today to get those phone calls in, but we also need to get some donations in as well. Folks, this is serious business for KPFT and for you. It's really not our goal at the station. It's not Egberto's goal. It's not my goal, not Howard's goal, not Jack's goal. It's your goal. Because if you don't take that step, and this isn't a threat, it's just a fact, and the money isn't there to pay, say, the electric bill or the tower rental bill, doesn't go so good. Now, we have a business manager, Markeisha Van Sampson for Pacifica. It's busy enough already, juggling everything and making it happen along with Stephanie Wells, the executive director, and keeping it together. That job becomes much more difficult if people don't take action to provide support. 713-526-5738. We're volunteers. That's who we are. We volunteer our time to power KPFT radio. I'm the interim general manager. I get rewarded with a few dollars in gas money. And true to form, what Pacifica paid me last year was consumed in large part just by the mileage that I was able to deduct from that income. I'm talking about like 85% of it. So we're basically volunteering to come in and do this to keep KPFT going. And we need you to help out on that cause. We got this $300 goal and we got nobody? Nobody? Come on, you're better than that. 713-526-5738. Come on, let's see a couple of sustaining pledges pop through. We're getting near the top of the hour. We're not going to cut to democracy now, right now. We're going to let Egberto pitch a little more and take another couple calls, whatever it is, and then we'll join the program in progress. But meanwhile, people, we need you to step up. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Remember, we got the Caroline and Lubbock t-shirts. We've got the new logo t-shirt. We have a hoodie. I know this isn't really hoodie weather. It's a $180 contribution to KPFT, but there are those beach trips, and some of you may be taking vacations to cooler climates, even in July. And that's a great piece of apparel to take along. 713-526-5738 or kpft.org. Egberto.
Yeah, folks, I know that, people. Okay, Jack, come on in, Jack.
Hey, Egberto.
Talk to me, my brother.
Lisa just called and she felt sorry for you, so you got a mercy donation here coming. Uh, she upped her sustainer pledge another notch. So for you,
Lisa, could I hug you? Can I give you that on air hug?
here.
You got it here, girlfriend. Appreciate you, Lisa. I absolutely appreciate you. Even if you're feeling sorry for me, yes, folks, if it takes feeling sorry for me to give that contribution to KPFT, please do. Please do. Anyway, no, but getting serious. Lisa, I want to thank you so kindly. That contribution really means everything to our station. It allows us to do what we're doing. It absolutely allows us to do what we're doing. And you stepping up, I can't thank you enough. And for anybody who steps up right now, I can't thank you enough. Again, running through some of what Sandy says, $5 a month. Think about it, a coffee a month to keep a station like this on air. A couple of coffees a month, $10 a month to keep this station on air. Something that is, look, it's not only for you. A lot of you that are listening right now are aware of a lot of the stuff that we talk about, and you sit down and wonder, why is it that other people aren't hearing this stuff? And what I have to say to you is the following. We do this program on air to reach you and others. But we take a lot of this, what we do on this program, when you hear Johnny call in, or Donald, or Patrick, or Melissa, or all these folks come in, there are times that they have some great, not times, they always do, but there are times that they have something riveting to say, and that we know other people need to hear. And we would cut that out and blast that throughout the space. So I'm saying that that's what we do. Let's go back to Jack. Come on again, Jack. They say get back to Jack.
Egberto,
Yes.
something I used to do in past years is like people throw down their matching pledges.
Yes.
You know, if if five sustainers joined at the $60 level and somebody would donate $200 as a matching pledge to for $40 to match their $60, you know, that it generates $500 total. And this is what I
Exactly.
used to do for what is it, Lone Star Jukebox
I
a
like
lot.
that.
So people
Say
out
that
there,
again. Say that again.
throw
Say that again.
throw down some matching pledges, say $200, and make it contingent on a sustainer pledge of $5 a month, and you match that with $40 per pledge. It raises them up to where they can get a little prize and a little payoff for one thing, and then the money is generated twice.
That
Hey,
sounds
Sandy,
great.
don't we have
Go-
someone who are they doing it for new sustainers? We have some matching grants there, matching.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay,
So what's
tell us
going
about
on?
that.
What's going on this fund drive is if you join at $5 a month, any sustaining level, but let's just take $5 a month. That's a $60 pledge per year, 5 times 12, and it keeps going year after year. If you're signing up for a sustainer right now at $5 a month, we have an anonymous, very generous donor that'll throw $50 on top of that. So your $60 pledge becomes 110, but wait, there is more. The local station board or a few members thereof got together and are contributing another $8 on top of that. Your $60 pledge gets amplified by $58, almost doubling what you throw down. So if three of you join at $5 a month, we'll make the goal for this program. You know, we're already eeping into the Democracy Now! Program, hoping that we're going to hear from you. I want to see one or two pledges. You got more phone calls there queued up in the studio?
No, we don't have anybody on the line right here.
Okay, all right, very
Folks,
good.
we,
So
we know we can do this, folks. We know we can do this. And look, um, we know that you like the program, and we know that you like what we have to offer. And we know many a times what we do, Sandy, Jack, Howard, is we'll say, yeah, I'll do it another day, or I don't feel like doing it now. Somebody else will do it, or whatever. At some point, that somebody is you. You know, I do this as a volunteer as well, and no pay, but you know what my pay is? My pay is the value that I feel we provide. There's nothing there, people always say statements like it's better to give than to receive. The feeling of giving, once when you give, when you start that whenever you start that feeling of that action of helping others, it is contagious. In other words, it it feels so much better. I'm not only contributing with the program that we do every morning, which means preparing the night before to make sure we have something substantive to give you. Let me tell you what else we're doing. What else do we do? We go ahead and provide. I give $10 a month. I can't do a lot more. I mean, there's a lot of things that we support. I do $10 a month here at the station. Oh, wow, we have some support here. Let's see if I can call them out. Yes, I can. Melody and Michael, thank you so kindly for your contribution of several coffees a month. And thank you so kindly. The other person, I guess they don't want their name used, but they gave a nice contribution. Two sustainers, one in the Woodlands, Texas, the other one in Channelview, Texas. I want to thank you guys so kindly for that contribution. We simply cannot do this without you. Let me just ask you this, Howard. Just send me a message when you want me to stop this here. But folks, let's keep this on a roll. We can keep this on a roll. Let's go ahead and raise as much as we can right this minute because you can make a difference. I was mentioning earlier that coming doing this work, and I'll be honest with you, and this is not for a pat on the back or anything like this, I promise you. This is a passion of life, doing something. I came to America from Panama, and this country has been great to me. And I don't say that as a cliche. I mean that from the depths of my heart. This country has been great for me. All the dreams that I've ever had, as far as being able to work in corporate America, get a great education, being able to form my own company, and then decide afterwards to simply do what I've been doing from my high school days, and that is to be a part of the political fabric all of the times. That's what I believed in, and that's what I was able to do. Now, in what I'm doing now, I'm a poor guy because I'm no longer a business doing the big businesses kind of stuff anymore. But this is more rewarding than anything else. Helping each other, much more rewarding. And I want to, for those of you that are listening, when you feel yourself a part of a community that is making a difference, I'm telling you that feeling from the depths of your heart, that feeling that you are really or that you really matter permeates the body, and that feeling is good. I ask you, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Please remember to say that this is for Politics Done Right. I got another one to give. Katy, Texas. Let's see if I can call that out. Yes, Sherry and Vidor, thank you so kindly for that contribution. Thank you so kindly for that. Let's get Chris onto the air. Come on in, Chris. How are you doing this morning? Chris, you're on. I think you're on. All
Well,
right.
he should be on.
Yeah, I don't hear Chris. I don't know if because we haven't transitioned, if maybe there's an issue there. Chris, are you there? Take it off mute. Oh, we lost Chris. Sorry about that, Chris. Call back, call back, call back. Anyway, folks, so give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. But as I was mentioning, like I mentioned about the country, you hear me do a lot of critique. I mean, there are a lot of people that tells me sometimes when they hear me talk about the policies, they'll say, well, go back to Panama, get out of here, whatever. And my answer to them is that, I came here on what America sells. America goes across the world saying, I'm the best, we're the best country in the world. You can be whatever you want to be, etc., etc. And guess what? When I came here, that was true. And for those who made it then, they're the ones that are still making it now. But you know what's the part that's missing? The part that's missing is upward mobility. And for those people who haven't yet made it, and for those people, those subsequent people coming along that haven't, right? That is the thing that is my responsibility as being a new American. Well, new American since the time that I naturalized, of course, which is a long, long time. But I'm an American now. And the thing of the things that I was able to attain being an American, I want every single American born here or otherwise, or born elsewhere that have decided to become an American, to be able to take advantage of, to be able to live through, to be able to get testimony. That's a truthful testimony. That's a real testimony. Another one, another $5 pledge. Thank you so kindly to, can I call her name? Yes, Peggy Beltrami. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so kindly for that support. And that's why I do. And for all of you who have just given, guys, I want to let you know this. You would not imagine how far that goes. You will not imagine how far that goes for us as a station. It means something. Whether it's $5 a month, whether it's $10 a month, whether it's $15 a month, whether it's a one-time contribution. This is your station. You have a platform. This is yours. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Let me pass it to Sandy if Sandy wants to add a few things right now.
Yes, thank you, Egberto. We're going to get to democracy now in about 4 minutes. And I want to thank all the people stepping up, becoming sustaining members. This is huge for us. You can't imagine when you call up and give $5 a month, how big a donation that is on a sustaining basis. It adds up. We started the drive with about 1,000 sustainers. Our goal is to get 50% of our monthly needs met by sustaining pledges. When we started this, Robin Lewis, our development director, said we need about another 400 people to add to that program. Well, this morning we put a little dent in that, didn't we? Because 3 of you have stepped up as a sustainer. Those little kind acts add up. When we reach that 50% point, we will be eliminating fund drive days, maybe even a fund drive. We made the decision to keep the goal at $150,000 this go round, but when we get to our summer sizzle later in the year, when it's not quite summer and it's only 110 degrees outside, the goal may be a little bit smaller. This is really great. I thank you so much. We thank you so much. Not to have to worry about paying all the bills as much as we have done traditionally vis-a-vis the sustaining money that comes in. Makes it so much easier. And again, we're volunteers. We're volunteers. We're not getting paid the big bucks, the radio bucks. Typically that in Houston, that's about $150,000 a year salary for a general manager of a radio station. Not quite that much at Pacifica, but it's Pacifica. It's okay. I also see that Carl and Duke, when they signed up, they got that stainless steel tumbler. Thank you for grabbing that. That's a $120 donation, folks. You can do it at $10 a month, or you can just put the cash down and grab the cup and go. 713-526-5738 is our phone number. kpft.org is our website. You can make donations either way. Call the number, hit option 1, or go to the website and click donate. Egberto, I think we're going to get Democracy Now! Up and running. I'll give you the closing remarks here, and thank you guys in the studio, Howard and Jack, for your amazing, amazing service to Pacifica, showing up every morning and making sure that the wheels are spinning properly. Amazing. So thanks to you two. Thank you, Egberto, for your national board service. For those of you that don't know it, Egberto is on our Pacifica National Board and a very valuable member thereof. So thanks everybody for doing the hard work.
Folks, let me first. I want to thank Sandy for getting up in the morning and pitching with me. Thank you, Howard, and of course the one and only Jacques Van Beber. But folks, call 713-526-5738 extension number 1. Don't forget to go to kpft.org and just donate. And again, put Politics Done Right as a supporting program. Anyway, folks, I got to get out of here. My name is Egberto Willis. Go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter for what we were supposed to talk about. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.
And we now join Democracy Now! In Progress on KPFT Houston.
All the viewers, a situation that was taking place